Hi, I'm Nels Jensen. I'm the editor-in-chief of the San Diego Business Journal. Now you might remember our daughter, Carrie. She helped out a lot at drama camp, summer day camp, VBS. She has a great smile, is really nice. And you might remember our son, Paul. He's nice too, but he was really, really tall. So that's how you might remember him. Now, I'm an editor. I work with reporters to help them with their stories. We discuss what topic a story will be about and what's the angle for that story. We discuss who the reporter will talk to, and we also discuss where they can look for more research and more information. When the reporters are done with their interviews, we talk about what facts and comments will be included, and we also sometimes talk about what might be left out. After the reporter writes the story, the editor goes over it with the reporter. Sometimes we send it back for additions or revisions. Sometimes the story is way too long and we have to shorten it. But our job is to make sure the article is accurate, fair, and includes the necessary elements so the readers will understand it and learn from it. Now, if you were the editor for the Old Testament, for example, you might want to make sure you include something about each of the 10 Commandments. You would definitely want to make sure that you didn't leave out any of the fantastic stories from the Old Testament, such as Adam and Eve, Noah and the Ark, Jonah being swallowed by the whale, Moses, David and Goliath. In fact, there are so many great stories in the Old Testament. Do you ever wonder what the editors had to leave out so the Bible wouldn't be even longer? I'll bet there's some real cool stories that just didn't make the final cut. And I know you guys are talking about the Old Testament, but let me make one important point about the New Testament. The New Testament starts with the 4 Gospels, which were written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Now what's interesting is that those 4 men wrote about the same things. Each of them wrote about the birth of Jesus and his life, such as the miracles he performed, how he stood up for the disadvantaged, how he challenged the conventions and the leaders of his time. Normally, an editor would never include 4 versions of the same thing in a book. But what Jesus did was so amazing. Many people at the time didn't believe it until they saw it for themselves. Now, it would be the same thing for readers. How many readers would believe the amazing things Jesus did? So the editors made a very smart decision. By including 4 witnesses to the life and story of Jesus, they gave the Bible more credibility and more authority. And because of that, the Bible was more widely accepted, and billions of people around the world have learned about the life of Jesus. Thanks for listening, and have a great year.